What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're looking at my top 5 players that could be traded this offseason. Now, I don't know if I made this video already, but if I did, I don't care. I'm sorry. I don't know if I made this already, but this is a really good list. Maybe it's my 2.0 version. I don't know. But these are 5 players that I think could really be traded this offseason. So let's get it started. Okay, now, if you guys remember, well, if you were with my old channel when I first had just DoseOfDion, this was one of my biggest videos ever. This definitely helped me out a lot when I was really small and just starting off in YouTube. And yeah, I decided to take a trip and make another one of these lists for this year. So yeah, that was just a year ago. Now, this season, we're deciding to do another one. Now, I'm not sure, again, like I said, if I already did this. I may have done something similar to it, but either way, I don't care. This is a really good list, and I love this list. Well, I don't love the list, but I think it's a really good list, and all these players have potential to be traded this offseason. So let's just get this thing started.
Boy needs to hop in real quick. Okay, that was awkward a sec. No, let me hop in real quick. Okay, you're not going to see one player on this list. That guy is Snacks Harrison. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, well, you probably thought Damon Harrison was at least going to be on here. Okay, now, yes, I think he would fit, and he could be traded this offseason, but I still have a feeling that he's going to retire. I really do think he's going to retire. So I'm not even putting Damon in here for that reason, but if you do want to put Snacks Harrison in your list, it makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, I could have threw him in here anyways. So don't get mad because Snacks Harrison was here. Just have a spirit with us. His spirit is with us in this top 10 list. But I do believe that he will retire, unfortunately. So he may not. I don't know. Maybe he will get traded. I don't know. I'm out. Wait, no. Back to the video.
And I also have another list for my 5 crazy draft picks that I think the Lions could potentially make. So if you guys want to see that, let me know that as well in the comments below. But now, let's get this thing started. And also, if you're in this, you're in luck because I'm also going to give you guys my Super Bowl prediction. So let's start this thing off at number 5. And coming in number 5, we have Marvin Jones Jr. Now, Marvin Jones, I think you can move him up to number 4. But I have him sitting here at number 5, so we're just going to leave him there at number 5. But he is on the last year of his contract, and we know that's a very big deal in Detroit because, you know, being on the last year of your contract means you may not want to pay this guy again. We know what happened with Golden Tate when he was on his last year of his deal. We just decided, okay, let's just trade him away now. Let's get what we can because we're probably not going to pay him at the end of the year anyways. That could be a similar situation with Marvin Jones. Not super old, but not young either, okay? And Marvin Jones Jr., he's been very productive for the Detroit Lions, so it's not like he's really in a downswing or he's not playing well. It's the fact that his age, combined with the fact that he's on the last year of his contract, could potentially get him traded. Now, the one thing that could really help him out if he wants to stay with Detroit is the fact that, well, Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn seem like they really have to win this season, and it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to get rid of, I don't know, one of your better wide receivers or your second best wide receiver, and it also takes a lot of pressure off of Kenny Galladay. So I think you keep Marvin Jones around, but I also could see it happening with the fact that he is on his contract year. So he comes in at number 5. Let's hop into number 4 where we have Jarrad Davis. Now, it's not about his contract or anything like that. Jarrad Davis is still a very young player. But one thing that's really big for Jarrad Davis is just the fact that he has struggled with the Detroit Lions, and at least last season he really did struggle. And he's been kind of inconsistent, kind of shaky. At least his Pro Football Focus grades have been really bad at times. They've been pretty good at times as well. He's just been an inconsistent player for us, and he's not a very good coverage player at all. He really struggles in the coverage type of aspect of things. He also misses a lot of sacks even when he's back there. But maybe this new linebacker coach could help us out that we just hired from Tennessee. Now, I don't know if this is a good thing for Jarrad Davis or potentially a bad thing for Jarrad Davis. Bringing in a new linebacker coach could mean that maybe he helps out Jarrad Davis, or maybe he has the idea of, okay, this is not what I want here. Let's move on and let's go get someone else. Lions do have a pretty solid need, I would say, for a linebacker. But if they do bring Jarrad Davis back and they don't trade him away, then Jarrad Davis will probably be a starter. We'll have to wait and see. He is a young player, and I think he has a lot of potential, and he's got some great energy that he brings to the team. I mean, it is amazing what he brings to the team. So I would love to keep him around. We just need to see him polish up his game a little bit more. And hopefully with our new linebacker coach, he's able to improve and really become what we thought he would be as a first pick in the draft. So Jarrad Davis, he coming in number 4, or a first-round pick. Now, hopping into the top 3, coming in number 3, I have Kerryon Johnson. And Kerryon Johnson is currently, well, I guess you could say our number 1 running back, but over the last 2 seasons, he's been injured for a lot of the time. And that's really the main reason that he could potentially be traded. It's not the contract situation. It's the fact that he has a lot of injuries, and we already have a lot of depth. Now, if you look at our running back position without Kerryon, we weren't terrible. We did have Bo Scarborough who stepped in, who I always forget about. I apologize. Bo was really good for us last season. We also have a young man in Ty Johnson who's still there. potentially J.D. McKissick. We have a little bit of depth, and at the same time, with the injuries that Kerryon Johnson has been having, he hasn't been reliable, he hasn't been consistent, he hasn't been a guy that you can put out there and confidently say, yes, he can make it through the season, or at least most of the season, because he hasn't shown he's been able to. And the recurring injuries in similar places on his body, which is super unfortunate. But with his age, with the fact that he was a second-round pick in the draft just a few years back, he could have some trade bait. I know a lot of these players may not, but Kerryon Johnson is one of those players that could have some trade bait and could potentially be traded away this offseason. And if that is the case, then obviously in the draft or free agency, you could go pick up someone else to pair along with the couple of running backs that we already have. And, you see guys like Bo Scarborough and Ty Johnson probably get a bigger role in 2020. So potentially Kerryon Johnson. Again, when I make this list, these aren't players that I want to see traded. I don't make this list and say, hey man, I hope we trade all of these guys away. No, it's just the players that I think could be traded this offseason based on, injuries or their contract or how they've been performing. Next up, coming in number 2 is a guy that out of all the other guys on this list, I would be okay if we traded. I know it's jacked up, but honestly, I'd be okay if we traded Ricky Wagner. Yes, Rick Wagner comes in at number 2, and he would clear about, I think it's like $6 million in cap, but he does have like $5 million in dead money if we decided to trade him away. But Rick Wagner, man, or at least cut him. Rick Wagner, my man, you're struggling, and he's aging, he's struggling. He's probably our worst offensive lineman, honestly. He plays the right tackle position. And this also, if we traded him away, potentially, if we get anything in return, like a 7th-round pick, could save us a little bit more money. Maybe have us go get a guy or a tackle in free agency, or even in the draft in the first 3 rounds, somewhere in there. We could try to replace him this offseason. The one thing, though, that I think is really could keep Rick Wagner around is the fact that, like I said, we kind of need to win, and we don't have a reliable guy to go to. If we let him go, we don't really have a guy that we can consistently rely on. Like Terrell Crosby, I don't know if that you want that to be a right tackle. I don't know. Injuries and performance and age have really started to pile up, and just really unfortunate to see this, but Rick Wagner could be, in my opinion, a guy that you would have to keep an eye out for being traded this offseason. And finally, coming in number 1, before we get into that, I'm going to give you guys an honor. No, you know what? Forget it. I'm not giving you all this. I'm not giving y'all the satisfaction, dog. Some of y'all wanted to see Stafford on here. Some of y'all thought I was going to put Stafford at 1. Oh, nope. I was going to put him as an honorable mention because some of y'all think it's a good idea to trade Stafford. No. I don't want it. I don't want to talk about that. It brings me bad vibes. If you want Stafford gone, that's cool. But personally, me, heck to the gnaw. So, you know what? Not even going to bring it up. Let's get into number 1. At number 1, we have Darius Slay. Now, again, Darius Slay, I love Darius Slay. He's been one of my favorite Detroit Lions. Big play Slay's a legend. I don't want to see him traded. I know he said he would love to finish his career as a Detroit Lion. He would love to have his whole career as a Detroit Lion. And maybe he wants to see Jeffrey Okudah alongside of him. But hey, I don't want to trade Darius Slay away. I don't know why I did that. But he does come in at number 1 because I think if there's anybody that's had been talk of trades this offseason, it is Darius Slay. Trading Darius Slay, in my eyes, doesn't make a lot of sense, knowing that you kind of have to win this next season. And his contract isn't even up. So why don't you just keep him around for his final year? I don't know. But his contract is going to expire, so potentially he could be traded before the trade deadline or maybe right after the season. The best case scenario for the Lions here would be trading him away while he still has some trade bait or some, something that you can get in return. Because the longer you wait, especially if he struggles this season, then that trade, what he was worth is going to go way down, just plummet because of his age. But otherwise, if you trade him this offseason, I think you're going to get a solid return. I don't know. I don't think it makes any sense. Personally, I think that's an awful decision to trade him away. I wouldn't do it. Even if you get Okudah, I wouldn't do it. I'd still just pair him with him, help him out, and he's still a good cornerback. I mean, yes, he wasn't himself from last year, right? He wasn't 2018 Darius Slay. He wasn't 2017 big play Slay, but he's still Darius Slay. I mean, he wasn't terrible. And the fact that a lot of other factors defensively were so awful, I can't put it all on Darius Slay. He comes in at number 1, but I don't want to see him gone. The only guy I really, honestly, kind of want to see gone here, if we can find a good replacement, is Rick Wagner. Otherwise, I like all of these other guys. I mean, I'm a Lions fan. I like all of these players. I just hope they can figure it out because I see potential. I know Jarrad Davis can do it. I know Jarrad Davis can ball out. I know Marvin Jones is a baller. So, I mean, I don't even want to talk about that one. Come on, we all know Marvin Jones is a baller. Kerryon Johnson is super, super agile. I mean, this guy's more agile than you would think just on the surface. Super athletic. But man, the injuries. I mean, it's so unfortunate. Injuries could derail, a whole career. Hopefully that's not the case. Rick Wagner, and Darius Slay is obviously my guy. So, boom, there's your top 5. And also, to finish the thing off for you clicking on this video, I don't know if it was in the title or not, but my Super Bowl prediction. Wait, let me think of a score on the spot. I knew who I had. I just don't know about a score. Okay, I got Kansas City Chiefs winning. I was thinking somewhere by like 10. I'm going to go Kansas City. I'm going to go Kansas City 35-31 Kansas City. That's my 35-28 Kansas City. That's my prediction. Let me hear your thoughts. Let me hear your predictions. Thank you, Pop, for watching, and I'm out.